I forgot to switch on the lights.
So 200. So see, yeah, afternoon zoomies.
It's fine.
Okay, Khao.
So we'll just
Okay,
take 10 minutes.
hi everybody. Sorry for the tardiness. Welcome to Go 1 to 100 podcast today. As you can see, I am the host today. Henry is a little bit under the weather, so I will take over the baton. My name is Yiqian. Nice to meet you. Sorry about the tissue. Hi. So this is Xiaoqing, and over there we have Daniel.
Hi.
This is the afternoon zoomies. You are all a bit like, yeah.
It's a wrong timing to do podcast.
First time doing a 3 p.m.
But we will soldier on. For everyone out there, we will soldier on for you, yeah?
Yes.
Anyway, so what's the topic for today? The topic for today is, I think 我们就是想疯了. We want to talk about retirement. Yeah. Have you all decided?
That's a happy topic, isn't it? Retirement. Everybody wants to retire.
I would say that I'm dreaming of retirement. I can't say that I'm that on track with retirement yet. How about the two of you? Have you all decided or have decided long ago or already have reached the point where you can see retirement in the horizon?
Oh, I think for us as a financial planner, very often they always ask, is retirement a reality or is it a dream? In fact, majority of clients, when they first come into planning, they feel that retirement in Singapore is a dream, it's something that can't be achieved. But usually after coming to planning, they realize that it's actually something that can be done, which is very achievable.
We give them the hope
Yeah.
and the conviction.
So whether is it a dream or a reality, I think it all depends on at what age are you at now. If today I'm at 65, I can only tell you that it is a reality, like it or not. It is whether you like it, whether you want to retire or not, it is something that you need to accept at that point in time. Yeah, but the good news is that we are all very young, so I think we all have hope towards making retirement a possibility.
I think for me, it's different stages in life. I experience different thoughts about retirement. If you ask me at the age of 25, maybe when I first started working to,
That was last
to
year,
30,
isn't
how you know? Between 25 to 30, I never really thought about retirement, to be honest. Yeah. Between 30 to 35, I probably was thinking more of a family setup, buying my first home, maybe having children. The real thoughts about retirement really came probably within these few years. Yeah, between the age of 35 to 40. And I'm still below 40, by the way.
No doubt about it.
Okay.
Not that far, right?
Yeah, so I think it's also a trend for the clients that I met. Recently, I met up with a client that he says that, yeah, this is the whole cycle I went through. I started working. I started to have a family. I started to buy my house. And once everything is settled, I don't have any surplus really. So why would I think about retirement? But after that, once I started to see more cash in the bank and started to save more, then I thought, hey, my time is getting lesser and lesser towards retirement.
Yeah.
So let's say for myself nearing 40, I got another 20 years towards age 60 or 15 years towards age 55. So it's getting more and more real. Yeah, so it's important to plan very early for this. Yeah.
I like what Daniel shared, which is very often something that our clients feel a lot of times, because the current goal that is right in front of them, or rather the short-term goal, is so big that it clouds their entire vision of what their financial plan is all about. It's just like if you stand at level 1 and you look at the lorry right in front of your eyes, it blocks your entire view. But if you go up to the 16th floor and you look down now at the same lorry, it's just a small part of the entire vision that you have, because now you have the overview of the entire landscape. So going back to financial planning is the same. When our clients do not have a broad overview of where their current financial situation is, how is that going to be like moving ahead 10 years, 20 years down the road, they'll be overly focused on the short-term goal, whether is it marriage planning, home ownership, children's tertiary education. But with proper planning, they can really see that this is actually just a small dot in their entire life journey. And the earlier they plan, the higher their chances are. And they won't let all these short-term goals actually derail them from achieving their big goals in their life.
Yeah. So it's like with financial planning, it doesn't have to be I finish task A, then I move on to task B. It can be a task A, concurrent, and then while preparing for your financial independence, so everything can move on together, and then you feel like more task, like you have the confidence that, I can meet my small short-term goals and then still reach my ultimate goal of retirement.
Yes, exactly. Indeed, when you have only a short-term view and all those short-term decisions, for instance, this landed property that you want to get, indeed you could have the sufficient down payment, sufficient cash flow to be financing that, but you may not have an idea of how this landed property is going to affect your future financial independence. So if a proper plan in place, then you will realize that whether this short-term goal is actually achievable, not just in terms of the down payment and the cash flow, but also how that impact your future financial independence. Yeah.
And on the note on the landed property, for example, so clients wanted to buy properties.
Yeah.
And I mean, as Singaporeans, we like properties. That's why.
It's a
so
staple.
having this property and how it affects financial independence is very important, like what Xiao Qing mentioned. And also the value of the client. For example, the client can be, let's say, buying this landed property, but in the end, let's say at the age of 60, 65, decides to sell off the landed property and then leave off the proceeds of the funding. It can be a way of retiring also.
I see.
Because it can be a good capital preservation.
Yep.
So it doesn't mean that buying a landed property is bad or buying a property is bad. Depends on what is the end goal of the client. Yeah.
Exactly. I did plan for a couple clients who wanted to buy a landed property. The initial planning shows that if they want to buy this landed, they are not going to be able to achieve their financial independence in 20 years down the road. But they wanted this landed property so much. So because of that, they decided to change their career, increase their income, bite the bullet, reduce their expenses, just so that they can be achieving both their short-term goal of being able to stay in a landed property as well as their long-term goal of financial independence. So indeed, it can be possible if you have a proper place in plan, a proper plan in place. It's the 3 p.m. stepping in.
So sounds like, okay, so to encapsulate, Daniel mentioned that, right, so if you like the earlier you retire, the more savings you require, the larger amount of money that you need to hit retirement early. And then what Xiao Qing mentioned is some of the clients, they have a particular lifestyle and in mind, and they really like, for example, they really like the landed property. So it seems like one of the really big considerations for everyone out there is, if you want to retire, one of the biggest consideration is how do you want to live? Like what type of lifestyle do you want to lead? From maybe leading towards retirement and then thereafter.
And talking about lifestyle, right? The textbook answer for retirement planning is planning for 70% of your pre-retirement income as a retirement planning. That's the textbook answer. I think it's in a certified planner or something like that. So it may or may not be true, because if let's say I'm someone who enjoy a certain amount of lifestyle, I may not be able to cut 30% of that lifestyle out once I just retire. So today I'm gonna retire. Next day, I'm gonna eat porridge already. It's a quite a big drastic drop.
So to put it in like figures, say if my monthly outflow is like 5,000, 70%, so I will upon retirement, next day, 24 hours later, I will start spending like 3,500 that month. So I think that's a bit hard to adjust.
I mean, it's a good gauge, but then not everyone can do that. So it still depends on personal financial planning. For someone to plan that for you.
To put into very simple mathematical terms, let's say someone who starts work at 25, work for 30 years until 55, and this person could continue to enjoy retirement for another 30 years. So in fact, you work 30 years and then you enjoy retirement for 30 years. So whatever in your active income years that you'll be saving is going to fund for the 30 years that you are not going to work. So in simple terms, you probably just need to save half of your income in order to have sufficient for the next 30 years that you're not working. And 30 years of not working, I think that is a big amount of time that we really ought to invest some time into planning.
Of course, the other picture of it is when we do retire, I think it's also not so healthy to not do anything. I mean, maybe that's another podcast altogether.
To remain active, right?
I guess most important is whether you have the money to do anything or not.
Correct.
To have money, to have your health, because, even though you're looking forward to retirement, age does catch up, and then you have to be circumspect and to be realistic about it. Maybe your health will also start to deteriorate a little bit, so we need to be prepared for that as well. You want to have a good retirement lifestyle, you also need to have the health to enjoy it.
And maybe on this note, it made me think about my dad. My dad is retired. So for the last 1 month, I've been staying with my parents because I'm in the midst of moving house. So I see my dad's daily activities in the morning. He wakes up early, he does his qigong. He does his pai da. Then he does this thing called the pa duan jing, which he said he will send me the video, so that if you're looking, you can send me the video later. So he does all this for his healthcare purposes. Then he cleans up the house. Then he has his breakfast, and then he'll look at his news. So to me, that's
You mean he does all that before he has his breakfast?
Yeah. So that is done between 6 a.m. to maybe 9 a.m.
Wow.
Wow.
By 9 a.m., the whole house is cleaned up already.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
高效率.
Yes. So to
Does he
me,
want another house to clean?
I can ask him.
To make some time, like keep it active.
It's a good form of exercise.
I can ask him. Yeah, so to me, I think he leads a wonderful retirement life because he takes care of his health and then he takes care of the family also. And it's enough lah, yeah. And he lives very frugally. So every morning is 4 pieces of bread. One with turmeric, one with cinnamon, the other one with peanut butter, kaya. And turmeric and cinnamon is actually good for health.
Yes, anti-inflammatories.
Yes. Yeah. So to me, I mean, that's my dad is a role model in retirement for me.
Okay, that's great. How about Xiaoqing? Do you have anyone, or you already have like your own formula?
Well, I
Like
think
yourself?
I'll still very much be doing what I'm doing at the moment wherever I can because I really enjoy what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, to enjoy what you're doing is also like a blessing already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how would you gauge whether you have enough for retirement? Just now we touched on it, 70%.
Let's leave that for the next podcast.
Yes, we can leave that for the next podcast. So, anything else to add for this particular episode?
Yep.
Yeah, are we good? Are we good? Are we ready to go for afternoon coffee?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, let's go for afternoon coffee. And you tune in next week. I think Henry will be back. He might be doing a better job than me, but hey, I appreciate
Maybe
your
you'll
time.
be the speaker next week.
Maybe I'll be the speaker as well.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. Anyway, this is Go 1 200. Like, subscribe, and what's that last thing called? Turn on
Share.
notification, share, with all your friends. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments down below or catch us on Facebook.
And I just realized I forgot to switch on the lights.
So 1 200. So see, afternoon zoomies. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today.
Win liao.
Win liao lor. And anyway,
Thanks,
give your
everyone.
retirement a good thought, and you know where to find us if you need any help, if you have any questions. So see you guys.
See you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. 没有开。
Win liao lor.